This is a 2019 Volkswagen Tiguan. It's in the SE trim. I'm going to give you my review in the form of 10 things you need to know and 3 gripes at the end. You're going to want to hang on for those starting right now. Alright, let's get right into the list. Number 10, the exterior. Now, I think that this exterior doesn't look bad, but I also don't think it looks good. I think it's intentionally neutral all the way around. I don't particularly like that about all of the new Volkswagens. They carry the same grille, the same headlights, the front end, the rear. They all have really similar designs to the point that, to me, they feel bland. At the same time, there's nothing offensive about it. There's nothing aggressive or, overly cute. It's just kind of neutral. So the exterior doesn't look bad at all. I think it kind of looks nice. It just also isn't very interesting and doesn't have a whole lot of personality. I think that's too bad because I think Volkswagens do have personality and they should. So the Tiguan, what do you think of how it looks? Leave a comment, let me know. All right, number 9, this fantastic panoramic roof. I'm gonna shoot a video of how big it is, but I really like, and we wait. And it keeps going, and it keeps going. It's a huge moonroof. I really like that about it. So number 9, this sunroof, which is an option for only $1,290. I really like that about this. All right, let's do number 8. The safety features in this Volkswagen are pretty good. You're gonna get the blind spot monitoring on both sides, lane keep assist, emergency braking. It's got a nice backup camera. It does not include adaptive cruise control. Volkswagen has reserved that for some of the upper level trims. The R line, I think it's called, and some of the luxury or the higher end trim levels get that adaptive cruise control. That's okay. It's definitely something worth looking at. If you haven't checked out my other reviews, I'm a big fan of the adaptive cruise control as an option to go for. You can't buy it separately. You got to buy it as part of one of the trim level packages above this trim level. But overall, number 8, the safety features are pretty good. They definitely aren't leading the way for SUVs, but they're about middle of the pack. All right, number 7, the infotainment system. So I'm going to play with it a little bit so that you can see, but overall, I thought that it was very intuitive, very easy to follow and figure out. It's in this cool black and white. The font is also very small, which I think at first took a little bit getting used to, but overall it gives it a unique, clean look. So I like the infotainment system. It does include Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. So some good features. Overall, impressed with the infotainment system. I give it an A. And all right, number 6, the rear cargo space. You've got plenty of room to put your luggage, but this has a unique feature, or maybe not unique, but I haven't seen it in the RAV4 or the CR-V or some of their other competitors, and that you can actually get this. It comes with a 3rd row. So the 3rd row is essentially useless. It's equivalent to the Camaro's back seat, but in a pinch or when you need to have that extra person for a short trip, it's really small and tight, as you can see, but be nice to have. If you've got small kids, I would suggest, if you had 2 kids here and 1 in the back, you should probably be buying the Atlas anyways. But at the same time, I think it's an interesting decision for Volkswagen to just go ahead and put it back there It is not usable on a regular basis, but in a pinch, it could be really useful. Hey, if you're new to my channel, consider checking out some of my other reviews. I'm just a normal guy. I do car, truck, and SUV reviews of the cars that I rent, borrow, and own. New videos every Monday. Thanks for checking out this video. Click that like button. It really does help this video. Leave a comment and let me know what you think. Let's get back to the list. All right, number 5 is the Powertrain. So this comes with a 2-liter turbo, 184 horsepower, Volkswagen produced 4-cylinder engine. I am not especially impressed with the power that it makes. It does have a little bit of a turbo feel, but overall the 8-speed automatic doesn't do it justice. Not like you would put a manual transmission in a car like this, but it just never felt like the two synced up. I felt like the transmission was smooth and quiet and takes care of a lot of the stuff that are important to people, but for me it just didn't feel like it was geared correctly. I felt like I was always trying to fight with what gear it was in. That was my take for driving it. I tend to drive maybe a little bit faster than you might, but overall, you know, the engine is substantially mediocre. So it fits in the middle. I would rather see them do a real turbo for something that produces over 200 horsepower, or offer an optional V6 or flat 6, straight 6. So to me, I think the engine is just okay, but nonetheless, it's the only option you can get with the Tiguan is that turbo 4-cylinder. Okay, number 4, let's talk miles per gallon. So I have seen about 21 miles per gallon combined. That's driving mostly in the city. I did spend a fair amount of time on the highway a couple days ago, but 21 is not too bad considering, you know, a lot of stop and go. It does have start stop. I haven't been able to find a clear button of how to turn it off. I didn't look too hard, so let me know in the comments if you can shut off the start stop. But either way, I didn't find it to be excessively annoying. The engine's pretty quiet anyways. And so overall, the miles per gallon were pretty good, but not great. I have read that you could get up to, you know, 30 miles per gallon. I never saw anything like that on the highway, but again, I was cruising at the speed limit, but closer to 75 miles per hour. And so, you know, when you start getting a speed limit up that high, you're going to lose your miles per gallon are going to start to go down a little bit. But overall, miles per gallon, right about middle of the pack. Nothing great here, but also not, you know, it's not terrible. And it really depends on how you drive the vehicle. So number 3, what is this SUV like to drive? I found it to be well-mannered. It is easy to handle. It parks very easily. It's got a good turning radius. The one thing I would say that I didn't care for is it accelerates poorly off the line. Now, with that said, I found merging into traffic or changing lanes where you needed to speed up, it was like that 30 to 40 mile an hour acceleration seemed just fine. But really off the line, it just kind of had a little dullness to it. And I attribute that to the transmission. Maybe you have some comments about what you think, but I didn't find it to be especially sporty feeling or really any kind of performance oriented driving mechanics to the vehicle. The steering is kind of numb and easy. So I would describe this car as easy to use, but not super interesting to drive. Maybe you disagree, leave a comment, let me know. Okay, number 2, this interior is overall it's pretty nice. With this trim level, you get the upgraded leatherette seats. I found them to be cool and kind of comfortable. They weren't especially leathery feeling, so they feel a little bit more plasticky than some of the other leatherettes that I've found. But overall, I like the seats just fine. I found that there was good shoulder room. The seat was very easy to get comfortable. The ergonomics of driving this car as a taller guy, I didn't feel like it was a small car on the interior, so I really like that. The back seat, there's plenty of room. For a car of this size in the main back seat, there's no room in the third row. But again, as I mentioned, that's really for just in a pinch if you needed it. Overall, the interior to me gets a B+. I think it's a pretty good interior. I like the center console, the infotainment system. Overall, B+. I like the interior. It's not stellar, but gets the job done and then some. All right, and then the last thing that you need to know is the price, as usual. So this, the Tiguan starts at $24,295. That's for a base with no options. You move up to this trim level. So this is the SE with the leatherette and the moonroof, and you're looking at $27,690 before the moonroof. Add it, and you're at $28,890, $1,200 more. Which, other than a whole bunch of accessories, is really the only option that you can buy separate from the packages. So there's a ton of accessories available. Volkswagen has lots of fun things that you can add on to your vehicle, from roof racks to mats to interior pieces and trim. But those are really just accessories to me. They're not vehicle options. And one more thing about that price. Now, Volkswagen is a little different than a lot of their competitors in that you get a 6-year, 72,000-mile warranty when you buy a new VW. And so that, to me, is, for this market, is industry leading. It may not be the only one that's there, but for a, you know, German engineered, well-made, relatively good-looking SUV, I think that the Tiguan represents a good value if you like it. With that said, I also think that it's somewhat boring. I think that they didn't take chances in terms of the styling or the interior. It's straight to the point, and I suppose in that sense it's a German car. But I would have liked to have seen just some hints of a little bit more personality in the car overall. But my overall review is, I do think this is a good buy, especially with that warranty at the price you're getting it. I would like to see them include, you know, an optional power plant of something a little stronger. But let me know what you think of your Tiguan, or if you're considering buying one. Ask everybody questions down in the comments. Again, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Check out my other reviews, and let's get to the gripes. All right, I'm gonna give you 3 gripes as usual. The first one is the base engine and the only engine. It's not that powerful. I think it's adequate for this car, but give me another option. Give us something to beef it up a little bit more, make it sporty. You know, certainly for that R line, put a better power plant in that SUV. That's my take. Let's go to number 2. The third row, it almost seems like a joke. I did say that it's only in a pinch, but it's almost to the point where there's just, it is cartoonishly small. There's nothing you can do back there. I couldn't even climb in the back to shoot a video with it. And then number 3, Volkswagen, from a Volkswagen fan, VW, you gotta get a little more personality in your vehicle. I think they're still trying to recover from their, you know, their emissions scandal. So they're playing it safe, but I would like to see a little bit more personality in this Tiguan, and unfortunately, it's just not there. That's my take. Let me know what you think. Again, thank you for your time. Like this video, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.